Is that what took you so long? You got to put the glasses over the mask? Oh, this man.
Gosh. It's hot in that motherfucker. I'm sorry. One sec.
That would have been a good bit if I'm just talking to you and you don't talk back.
What I can't imagine even trying to do a whole ass episode of anything.
Don't spoil something for a week or two from now. So.
Well, I will. Hey, what I'm gonna do is, I think that the public may not see this until Halloween Day, but maybe Patreon will get to eat this a little early. Yeah, I can. He probably was he had that mask. Like, committing to killing people with that mask on is a lot. Like, you can only see so much. It's fucking hot. This fake ass William Shatner ass mask that they use. No, before we get into that, I don't want to get too crazy into the shit yet. Do you eat at McDonald's, Drew?
I haven't as much lately, but yeah.
Do you in your neck of the woods? Do they have that cactus plant flea market? Did you see anything about that? Happy Meals for adults?
I don't know. I haven't been really like the last month or two.
I've
been going more to Cane's or to Popeyes instead of McDonald's.
Cane is it? What do they sell at Cane's?
Raising Cane's. You know, like
Raising Cane's. What's that?
Yeah, it's basically just chicken and fries. Yeah.
Is Raising Cane's better than Popeyes?
It's no, I don't know. I mean, again, you can't know. It's because to me, I just love chicken.
It's different chicken.
And I love fries. So that's what I always loved about Cheap Heat with the gray drop. I love delicious chicken. Like, again, I said this week, so I love barbecue chicken, teriyaki chicken, sweet. Like, I just love chicken. So like, I'm not really gonna pick one over the other because to me it's just like it's chicken.
So if you want a specific type of chicken, you'll go to Cane's as opposed to Popeyes. Is what you're saying?
No, I'll kind of go to both. Is the thing. Yeah, that's not. I don't choose one over the other. But
no discrimination. He's not.
Yeah.
Michael Myers only killed for a while. He was only killing horny teenagers. Drip don't care. He killing all types of chicken. Anyway,
yeah, Fam's chicken.
I still haven't had Fam's chicken. That's upsetting. Anyway, so McDonald's linked up with this like hype beastie. What do you call them? Like, it label like a supremacist type down. They make streetwear, and they made these limited edition
seen the commercials.
Yeah. You've definitely seen the commercials, or you've seen them on the timeline. From what I understand, McDonald's workers were getting pissed off because people were ordering like 50 of them because the toys are limited and adults have spending money. They just want to take all the fucking toys. I saw there were also complaints that they didn't have like you see there's that box sometimes they'd like run out of the box, or they'd run out of like fries because people were ordering, because like you had to get like it comes with a drink, fries, and either nuggets or a Big Mac. It's weird. You think they would, it shouldn't be that different, but I guess when people are ordering fucking 50 of them, they're ordering. The other day I had a taste for some McDonald's, and I saw it on the Uber Eats, so I grabbed. This is the only.
You don't eat McDonald's, so you don't eat McDonald's often, or is it just a thing to?
I probably used to eat McDonald's more. Like I like their fries a lot, but.
Well, yeah, they're the McDonald's fries.
My wife, like, McDonald's don't really sit on her stomach well, so we'll get it ever so often. But yeah, this is the only thing that was marked Cactus Plant Flea Market McDonald's.
See, I heard it. I, for some reason, thought it was a tie-in to Cactus Jack, obviously. I'm like, is he now calling his brand Cactus Plant?
Nah, this was...
Because I know he already had his meal. I'm like, is he coming back for another? That being Travis Scott, of course.
I mean, maybe. If oddly enough, I wonder if this would even happen if Trav... Oh, I gotta Grimace. I don't know. Like I don't even think these are worth much. Before recording, I was on eBay. Like you can get the whole pack for like $20 on eBay if you want, but
it's not the Szechuan McNugget sauce. Yeah.
No, it's kind of. I can't even tell if this is better quality than like a regular Happy Meal toy, but it doesn't feel like exclusive, right? It's just got like another set of eyes.
Are you gonna put it on your shelf?
If it'll stand.
Right next to John Wick.
They also don't stand proper, like the fucking bottoms of the feet. So anyway, that's enough of that. I wish I could license some scary fucking
I was gonna say you were playing the again the Chicago Bulls music. I'm shocked you didn't play the John Carpenter Halloween score.
If I was smart enough at thinking about it, I would have loaded it up. But
I still have to. Do you want me to? Again, this is also Patreon content, like you said. Okay, that people will see exclusively here on the Patreon. That's cut out for the YouTube. But do you want that intro of the "I'm gonna kick your fucking head"? And do you want me to send that real quick? That's kind of in a way the official Black Rasslin Podcast Club intro.
We'll figure it out. I want to get this show rolling. We're already enough time in before we even talking about you. Now, we do white noise with Drip weekly. We've done a lot of episodes about your movie watching, your movie preferences, your movie watching preferences, genre, all that stuff. Not a lot of horror on your movies, film, cinema trek to the theaters. Maybe a couple of films.
As we broke it down, there was Get Out.
There was Get Out.
Nope. Hereditary, Midsommar, It.
There was a pattern there with those 5. Okay.
Yeah. So again, not really. And it goes back to, I think, me being just a scaredy cat as a kid.
That sounds like you'll go to a horror film if you like the director, or if it maybe some art.
I would think of what I was saying is, I was into the auteur horror, A Quiet Place, but I wouldn't really count that as horror. Or A Quiet Place 2. I think that's more thriller.
Yeah, I could see it if you want to call it a horror, but no, I understand.
Yeah, I'm into the auteur style of, like, I guess horror with a brain compared to like this half-ass shit we got with these last 3 Halloween films.
Shit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we got to take it back to the beginning.
Well, yeah, I'm about to say, don't jump the gun. Go ahead.
No, we're into the show, and you're saying like you and I do white noise weekly, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And on that show, more often I force you into the topics that I want to discuss about. This is why Matt was like, you want to talk, like you're talking about 49ers. And that's why after we'll do a little PSA announcement about white noise.
Word.
But I was like, as a form of penance, I guess. So like I'll do an episode of BRP podcast, Black Rasslin Podcast Club, in which I'll talk about the Halloween films with you, because I know you were hyped about them last year. That being Halloween Kills, and you were hyped about Halloween Ends. I didn't watch the trailer for this at all. So when what happened,
you didn't watch the trailer for this?
No, because I was like, I didn't watch these films, Cal. But what I was trying to say is, like, to me, the idea of the Black Rasslin Podcast Club is, and no pun intended, but like for you to put people through the ringer, like, again, you're holding their hands, doing the Danielson stomp with these topics, much like how white noise. Again, it's just like anyone who's on white noise is just like, whenever I'm talking, that's all about, again, like Jay White, Adam Cole, the gray man, blah, blah, blah. So I'm here now to get, I guess, stabbed by a man in a poorly made William Shatner mask. Like,
hey, look, well, I think that's kind of, I will say this. I watched Halloween later in life. This is the first time you saw any of these films, you're saying, right?
Yep, even the classic 1978 John Carpenter.
The first time I got put on to the original Halloween, I think it was around Halloween time. I think AMC. I used to watch a lot of AMC. Excuse me. They were doing like a countdown of the best horror movies or something like that, and they were talking about Halloween, which was, I don't think it was at the top, but it was close to the top. And they only showed the scenes of like him stalking Lori. So like you would see, like, I remember the scene of him standing by the bushes, and then you see her, and then she looks back.
Yeah.
And
Which
that
in
motherfucker's gone.
hindsight now looks like this isn't a satire. Like,
No,
right?
but that's the odd thing, because like I had already seen so much horror by the time I saw the film, so it was like I understood, especially for the time, because you got to remember there weren't slasher films like that
Yeah.
before John Carpenter took the idea that they had about making a film called Halloween and made The Shape and brought this story of Michael Myers. It was only supposed to be this one film.
Pure evil,
Yeah,
born
just
evil. Yeah.
one day, something, a light bulb switches on, and little man picked up a knife and
Yeah, you see,
murdered
like
his
he
sister.
pulls off this mask, like he's just this innocent little kid, and you're like,
Just a
wow.
little
Like,
kid with that long ass shot on him. Just
that's the thing. Like, again, John Carpenter, legendary filmmaker. I've seen only really a few of his too. I saw The Thing a couple years ago. What's funny about that is they watched The Thing in Halloween, and that man manifested like his own film. But he, like Kurt Russell famously said on one of my favorite Bill Simmons episodes, that John Carpenter didn't remake The Thing, he made Who Goes There, and
right,
titled it The Thing.
right,
Because
exactly,
he was like, about paranoia, but like it was able to sell it with The Thing. And like I said, like to sell the idea of like a movie called Halloween, what would it be about? This unstoppable killing machine. Like,
that's back when, and no disrespect to today, but like there's so many adaptations and things that were from novels and comic books that it's dope to look back and they just say, hey, we want to call a movie Halloween and drop it around Halloween. We're gonna give you some money, make a movie, and you're like, all right, bet. I guess this kid just gonna start killing motherfuckers, and then we're not gonna get to it until why I love these films so much, but there's something about these films, the idea of a murderous little kid, right, committing like a horrible act of violence, and instead of like reflecting on it being bad or like anything like that, he gets taken from that moment, and that's all he wants is more of that. Like that shit is it's kind of crazy, but there's like a drive and a passion that I think people don't have for certain things that I'm not saying learn from Michael Myers, but I'm saying
you respect the man's commitment. Like
again, we'll get more
he
into
didn't
it.
run for the grind, Cal. He kept going for it. He said,
there's something about that in media that intrigues me, but yeah, I mean, I think that it's funny because people are like instantly drawn to 1978's Halloween, and it's like it's they know it's iconic. You talk about the big three with Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers. Michael Myers, his legacy is probably a little stunted because a lot of those movies are garbage. Like,
well, I mean, the same could be said about those other two as well, but they ended up, I guess, having kind of again that comedic.
Well, they fell into
watch these to laugh.
I think the thing with the Nightmare on Elm Street series, Freddy Krueger was not like some slap your knee, one liner in the first film. He was a little like fucking.
I saw the first one years ago and haven't seen it since. Yeah, same thing. Like, I haven't even seen the first Nightmare Friday the 13th day.
It may be like the third or fourth, because like he starts getting probably around the time when Chucky really starts popping up. But Freddy was really one of the mainstream, one of the guys that broke into the mainstream because he took a lot of pride in killing motherfuckers in their dreams. On the flip side, Jason Voorhees didn't say shit.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got the person that's always taught, and you've got the lurching stalker you can't kill, who's always just following you.
Well, famously again is like that's Kevin Smith had a thing about this one. It's like one of the most iconic trivia things, like who's the killer in the first Friday the 13th. And again, they play that up in Scream. I remember when she's on the phone with Ghostface, that it's Jason. So like it's not Jason's mother. So it's like that even took again to the second film to begin like a dueling giant stalker in a janitor's suit with a mask.
Right.
just
Right.
cutting, chopping people again that want to have sex up. So that's what I was wondering when I was watching Halloween 1970s. Like, I forgot to look it up, but if I'm like, is this before the first Friday the 13th in terms of like,
Yeah, I want
you
to say
have sex, you die, the virgin final girl lives
Friday
trope
the
that
13th. Well, because you got to figure Friday the 13th dropped in 1980, so yeah, this was a couple
okay,
years.
I thought it was
But
80. I was like, it's either 80 or 81 because Kevin Bacon's in it.
like, it's interesting. Like, I don't know if they did it on purpose. I'd have to look and see. I don't know if Friday the 13th took that, but both of the stories have those similar elements. I mean, if you look at Halloween, it's a little kid who, you know, his sister was babysitting him, not paying him any mind, and you know, some wild shit happens. The trials and tribulations of, you know, wild teenage sex in the late 70s or whatever. Fucking Friday the 13th was the same shit. Jason Voorhees' mom was just pissed that, you know, she don't want them to sell the damn or take the land or whatever, and all these damn camp counselors are being devil worshiping and, you know, fornicating and shit like that. And that's who she was. Like, I think, I don't know if it became a trope because of what John Carpenter wrote in the Halloween. I don't know if they connected those dots at all, but I mean, it was after Friday the 13th. I think it was a lot more of the reckless teenage alcohol, drug abuse, and sex turning into, you
You
know,
die.
Jimmy
Again,
not
again,
coming
like
home
Friday. I
at
mean,
night.
Nightmare on Elm Street again. Like the guy from Weird Science and his girlfriend die, and Johnny Depp dies because he wants to have sex with the main group. And same, like
True.
that's why the ones that commentate on it, like Scream, were like Sidney Prescott lives because even though she fornicates before, she thinks she still ends up living. And just like It
Right.
Follows is the commentary on if you have sex, you die, but it's about like sex being the
Following you.
disease
Yeah.
and horror,
Yeah.
and like that the horror is like STDs following you for your
Horrors.
life. And the ultimate is Cabin in the Woods, which completely is like, this is commentary, and we are being meta on like, what if a company created like horror and all of that. And like the real Final Virgin, this is a prophecy for a reason about like these people each play their part in their aspect on that. But that's the thing I was wondering. And then, but also I'm like, the aspect of like, no one finds young Jamie Lee Curtis cute to ask to the dance, just like no one finds Nev Campbell cute to like go out. That's the thing. And so I'm like, because all her friends are like, oh, you just stay home and do your homework, blah blah blah, and babysit. And I'm just like, no one's asking young Jamie Lee Curtis out. Like, come on.
She was trying to get
there's the whole Tramer. And then Ben Tramer. And then when they brought that back up, I was just like, oh my god, like when they create Will Patton's character out of whole cloth, that pissed me off even more. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
I mean, the franchise itself throughout the years, it was like, I think at one point it was some like niece related to Michael Myers was the one killing people like him as a little girl, whatever. But the what's his name? David Gordon Green, was that his name?
Yeah.
His trilogy is very much it's very self-referential, but we'll get to that.
And that's the thing about this. The first one's that's simple in terms like he commits this murder, he gets locked away, they're going to transfer him to kill him, he escapes, and he drives a car, not knowing how to ever drive a car. But which is I had some probably Bill Simmons that he said this is his favorite movie. And he always like he one time like wrote an article where someone interviewed Michael Myers and he was writing from both perspectives and like how did you get away from the facility without ever driving a car before? It's when like the great like what the and that's what the doctor says. Like he's like he doesn't even know how to drive, and he's like it doesn't matter. Like
it don't matter. It's the fucking shape. But
what I love about Dr. Lewis is he again like he talks in riddles in a way.
Yeah, no, very much.
That's why I understand like the Chief Brackett's pissed because again he's like oh the night he came home. It's again very like
very poetic for no reason. Yeah. Very poetic. Yeah, well, but again, I mean, it's Michael Myers. You got the
I spent many a year with this boy. He never said a word.
He never spoke. Never spoke. He said, Arr! Like that's the most. You get like a little grunt or something. He never spoke. But
you poke him in the eyes. Like,
but even still, like he would get stabbed. He would get anyway. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Did you, speaking of stabbing and killing? I mean, he doesn't do. There's not a lot of death.
yeah, I was shocked by that. I'm like, when it's an hour in, I'm like, nothing's happening. It's just like building tension. I'm like, and I'm not angry at it. I was like, oh, I thought there would be a little bit more.
Nah,
But at the end, again, he flips it. He's like, he's a fourth quarter guy, Michael Myers. It's like, hey.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get. Oh, did you have a favorite
in the first?
Yes. Favorite kill? I got one.
What's yours? I want to know what yours is. Yeah.
All right, so it's the night he's starting to kill motherfuckers. He may have already killed somebody, and that guy Bob and the girl Lydia, they already have sex in the parents'
you
house.
You go get me a beer.
He goes down to get the beer. I'll be right back. And then Michael Myers right there, grab that motherfucker up by his neck, buy it, and he was hanging up. But it's the you gotta peep the way he looked at him. Just that shit. It's the coldest thing in that whole fucking.
I don't want to say the opening kill is the best kill because he stabs a topless woman as a child. But again, it's the POV tracking shot the whole time. Where like Carpenter's not stopping with this POV or around this house, into the house, out of the house, and show up. What happened, Michael? What happened? And again, it just. And the camera again zooms away as they're just like all frozen there. Like
some shots like this shot here is a favorite. This shot here, classic.
The one in the bushes is my favorite. That's the one I like.
I couldn't find a good one with the bushes. There's this shot. This is an iconic shot. Final girl, Laurie Strode. Was this one too? Yeah,
when he does the Undertaker, I'm like, again, so is that where they got it from? When he does the rise up?
Mean, low key, and you probably have to ask.
No, I think Mark, he would say it.
No, I'm saying I don't know if I've heard him talk about it, but
I took it from it. Yeah, I watched the movie. Yeah, I thought it was a good thing to do.
Now you mentioned a long tracking shot. In having Drip run the gauntlet with Halloween, I didn't want to bog him down with the shit that didn't matter because there were these 3 movies that were only referencing the.
They retconned everything that happened before, which is the theory of like, in 2 they say that she's secret. She was his sister.
Right. They take all that,
which makes a ton of sense because the premise of Halloween is just a boy who snapped and is now an unstoppable killer, and then these 3, their premise is like. He went after her, but not really went after her.
Well, all right. So
now he's just kind of doing it because he was forced to do it.
Halloween 2018. It's a. I'm going with the term requel.
Yeah.
It's a revival. It's not a reboot. It's a revival, but it literally picks up 40 years after Halloween 1978. Again, like I said, the first film, Michael got a kill and then was behind bars like 15 years or whatever, and has just been waiting for that kill. Goes on a rampage.
Even though it ends with he's shot out the window by Dr. Loomis, and then like he looks out the window and he's gone.
And he's gone. Like, well, you have to. We find out in David Gordon Green's films what they're saying is happening in this timeline, but 40 years later, he's on that weird fucking chessboard with all the other prisoners, chomping at the bit. I don't
think so. I think he's just.
You don't think? Wait. So all right. So let me ask you a question. 40 years, Michael Myers been sitting in this facility. The one time some punk ass podcasters come up there and like,
I was about to say,
you're saying the podcaster being like, look at this, look
I think they reignited the flame. I don't think he was, because again, he probably could have got out anytime. The whole thing too about his doctor being in on it as well, which was like a twist of like, oh, who didn't see that coming? That
I was going to say, It was a perfect storm of things going. If your theory is that lightning struck at the opportune time to get Michael Myers back out to kill again, sure, okay.
So, yeah,
I don't agree with it, but okay.
No, that's what I mean. It's so poorly constructed, these three films, of like what they were trying to do 40 years later, and then what they try to say happened prior, which again they're creating out of whole cloth with in Halloween Kills, with this whole like Jim Cummings and Thomas Mann as sheriffs tracking him. I know what I'm saying, but like we'll get to that. But again, like creating that like out of nowhere, but like
you have to do something though. Like if you're going to explain how you went from Michael Myers disappearing,
being off the ground 1 minute,
something in there, and it links old man cop and Laurie. You know, they're budding. You know,
buddy. No, you want to talk about shoehorned in romance?
Did they smash though? I mean, it's just witty banter.
That romance was god.
But anyway,
I like Will Patton, but no, like
the thing is I saw this film. I went to a screening for this film, and I was like, the kills are amazing. The way they brought Michael Myers is amazing. Something about this story is ass, but I'm with it because they're like when this scene. Now, mind you, this is after my favorite kill, because when I saw the clip, he didn't have the mask on yet because he fucks up the podcasters mad early in the film.
Mm-hmm.
But what had happened?
Deserved. I couldn't wait for those people to die. Like everyone in this first Halloween deserves to die, except Judy Greer, her daughter, and Jimmy Lee Curtis. Everyone else deserves to die.
Here you go. Anyway. We're like 20 some minutes into the episode. Spoiler alerts in all these films. So just saying that now.
Yeah, that's what we're here to do. Like I watched these for a reason. I'm
just letting the people know. Them. So the podcasters stop at a gas station to go. The woman said she had to take a shit. I don't know what the guy had to do, but the woman said, "Yo, I gotta drop it."
He was pumping the gas.
She said she was dropping the dookie. Yeah. Michael shows up. So we don't see how, but I'm assuming. Like, did you see Liv Morgan beat the shit out of Sonya Deville? She took her head and was ramming it into the table. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming Michael Myers took the gas station attendant's head and was banging that shit into the fucking like a desk or something to extract my man's teeth. He's banging on the door while short. Good thing she was already on the toilet.
No, I thought he took the other dude's teeth. I thought he took the dude at the cashier's desk teeth.
That's what I was saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, there was the mechanic who's naked.
That's what I was saying. I think it was the same. I think it was the guy at the desk, same guy you're talking about. He put his hand over the door because she had the door fucking locked. Put his hand over the door, went like this, and it was just a bunch of fucking teeth that fell out.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And then we don't see him really beat because he fucks the dude podcaster up. We don't see him kill the woman, but he fucked both of them up in that bathroom.
Just again, it's the monster like it screams as like the camera moves away.
He had to get his because this was him right after killing them. He went up in in their trunk to get the mask that dude held up at the fucking idiot.
And that's why he was like, "So you get for talking shit?" Like.
He killed a little kid. Did you feel bad when he killed a little kid?
The kid and his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel again
like no?
Again, like they could have just stopped. Like the kid who wants to dance.
Yeah, he was like, "What did he say?" He said, "I'm missing dance practice for this dad or whatever." I just
want to dance. Yeah, no, I mean, again, everyone in this film, like I said, deserved to die. I mean, the daughter's shitty boyfriend deserved to die. We'll get to that in the second one, though. But
what did you think of? Because like
his asshole friend deserved to die. Like,
well, I don't anything with the high school kids. I hate their entire everything with all of those kids. And that was the stuff that pissed me off. I didn't like her boyfriend. When he gets his in the next film, I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite kill because he just goes.
I hated that character.
And she's just like, leave him alone.
I hated his friend. The friend had he was
impaled
pinned
him
up
right on top of it. Yeah.
on
Which always like
murder.
those always scare me. Like if you ever had to climb over one of those, I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
not gonna fucking like
There's
ah.
one maybe when on my walk to Walmart. There are there's a facility that has, they're not like the big, like the that one, the style in the film, but they're smaller, different color, but same shit. You slip and fall, you're my man's hanging up on it
Yeah, but the blonde
with a
friend
spike
and
through your cheek.
her dipshit boyfriend, they deserve to die. The
That
kid who
shit
was
was
cutting his dirty ass toenails, he was kind of a riot a little
that
bit.
that kid, black kid, he's the funniest part of the whole film, and he ad libbed a lot of that. I think they said he was
Yeah.
naturally just that funny and was
Here's
just
what I was about
dropping
to
one
say.
line.
So you're saying you don't fuck with the story. I think the story of Laurie Stroud's trauma and preparing for this man to get out because she's so
Yeah, that's
scared.
cool.
It makes sense. Like that's like
It
that is
makes
again like
sense.
survival, survivor's remorse, or a trauma victim, and then her pressing that onto her daughter in a way, again prepping her daughter. Like I thought that story was cool, and like
I
her daughter
like
having to
that stuff.
practice, like how to use a gun, how to run, how to
Right.
box, like making her daughter like as fearful as her, but getting her ready. So like when the day comes, it's
The
basically
whole
Batman and
house,
Robin. Yeah.
the whole puzzle, the whole way it's constructed, and like the fact that, of course, 40
And then the
years down the
granddaughter
line,
being a mirror image of Laurie Strode, in a way where like again a good student just wants to be a good daughter and like be a good person. And like I thought that story again of these three women worked, but the rest of it,
it's
again,
trash.
especially the comedy aspect, and I think it's for like Danny
Bad.
McBride. I remember when this was announced, it was like David Gordon Green and Danny McBride are going to write
I was
a
confused.
Halloween film, and again, I'm like Danny, like from Eastbound and Down, like
I
Kevin,
didn't,
like you're fucking out is gonna write like
but again, Jordan Peele,
true,
Midsommar, like
true.
I think we were moving towards a
But then when
world
I watched
where
it, I'm like, oh, now I see the parts clearly written by Danny McBride because a lot of this comedy ain't working for me. Like,
that's the other thing. Aside from the little kid,
and I like I haven't seen season 2, but I like season 1 of Righteous Gemstones. I've seen a
I've
few of
not
this.
seen season 2 either. I like
I haven't
Gemstone.
seen all the season of Eastbound and Down, but it's good. I enjoyed the Foot Fist Way, and I enjoyed David McBride again as a comedian, but like this turned into
This
like
was a
I'm gonna
little
write,
different. Yeah,
yeah,
it
I'm
was,
gonna write the comedy and the horror films, and again, same thing for David Gordon Green, who directed Pineapple Express and Your Highness, and it's a weird turn for him as well.
it's one of those things where the only thing I heard them say was that they wanted to, the homage. Again, if you look at,
But it's so poorly shot and like
but
edited,
wait,
it just looks like garbage.
but the guy, like they were worried about making sure that the mask, because they didn't have it, so they had to recreate the mask. So they were making sure that it was passing down correct. Like they were worried about that stuff because they were worried about the story that they wanted to tell going into whatever this. I don't know, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's, call it the Trump effect, call it COVID, whatever, cancel culture, whatever you want to call it. I feel like they were trying to say something
That was the other thing.
with
Yeah.
these films, and like these films didn't need, like, anything I care about in these films have nothing to do with this. Like they took the idea of,
Message.
but like the idea of like evil, like spreading and being contagious, like that's cool. These movies could have been done without that, because that's some of the weakest. It's the weakest shit about the entire this entire trilogy right now.
And that's why the whole time I'm like, and I think I saw a tweet where someone said like years from now. That's the thing with everything, is like revisionist history will show that this was an amazing trilogy of films because what it said about America in the moment, and it gets started right away in this one again, like podcasters, like true crime, serial, all that. Like let's hear from the let's actually hear out the person
right
who committed the crime. Maybe they're again like let's have some remorse for them. As Lord Strauss says, like you want to feel bad for Michael Myers for what, like because
right
like again like what happened to him? Nothing happened, and one day he snapped. Like there was nothing in his life up until then that made him this way. He just picked me again. That's the whole point of Halloween. It's just so random in its story. Like he picks this one house. It's not even like she lives in his old house. That would make so much more sense.
It was literally
He just is like driving around and he sees this girl and he just starts following her. And it would have been, again, what they said in the second, like it's actually his like long lost sister, but how would he know? Or if she bore a resemblance to his sister, maybe that's, again, he then becomes a real serial killer, like the fetish of like tall blonde women and things like that, you know, that serial killers go after. But this being, again, like it's speaking to trauma victims and our fascination with killers, which like David Fincher always says, like people are perverts, which is why his films are the way they are, because people want to know and see the darkness of life in these things. But I mean, say the kills in this, at least I do again, like just like the first one, except that it's so much better done. But the last 20 minutes of this are, again, like that, like, oh shit, like what's gonna happen? Even though I know he's a little bit, just like when the daughter does like the fake scream, like and then she like gotcha, and just like fucking shoots him.
When they did that shot of him being in the basement and looking up and they're looking down as like the thing is closing, I'm like, this movie, he ain't dead.
Yeah,
he ain't dead. But
as they're about to set him on fire because she just turned on the gas and dropped a flare.
Like, something told me he ain't dead. So one thing I liked about this film that they did, because they did a lot of, again, I mentioned earlier, a lot of homages to the 1978 film. If you really look, there's shots like this that kind of juxtapose Michael looking off at Laurie from the first film and this coming back. There's a couple of spots that do stuff like that I think are really ill. And there's one homage that, it's interesting because this is technically in their foursome of films. This would be the second Halloween film. And in the original second Halloween film, it's the only reason to watch that film. In the very beginning, Michael's out and he's looking for a knife. And it's just like this long ass one shot of him. He like it's kind of like walking down an area like this, like in between houses, going into the back of somebody's house. But in the original Halloween 2, he goes into some lady's house. She's walking around. The news is on the TV. She's in another room. Doesn't realize my man's in the house.
Yeah.
Picked up the fucking knife and then he kills. And then they recreate a similar scene in this film. It's stuff like that I think is cool, and that's the stuff that keeps me watching these films. But I don't think the rest of the film kind of. I don't care about her boyfriend cheating on her and the weirdo friend that's blowing shit up throughout the whole film. Like I don't get all that out. And then the problem was, it's like, all right, I'm hyped because this shit, I remember this shit was hard. Fast forward June 2019. I'm in Chicago. Same trip where I interviewed Roman Reigns. But it was days before. I was at there was an event for Complex Con Community Week. Wale was there. Literally, while it's like the Obama Foundation and Wale and some other people doing some stuff for the community, having a panel or something like that. I'm on my phone. I go on Instagrams. Blumhouse announces not one but two sequels to Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. I said, oh shit. They're about to do it because the first film did so well, obviously.
That was the thing. I remember like this was coming out in 2018. Halloween,
it murders.
That's the thing. This came out in 2018, and we just talked about briefly at the beginning, movies, film, cinema. What I saw in the fall of 2018 definitely wasn't this, and I wasn't interested again. The girl I was seeing at the time, I'm like, do you want to? I don't even think I was like, do you want to go see Halloween? Because I'm like, I don't want to go see this. Like,
right.
And they announced again these two sequels, and I'm like, oh, and it's always bad to me when you announce the two sequels filming back to back, because you're so focused on doing the first film that you don't have right. That you can't. That the third one obviously is going to be the shitty one, like the Matrix trilogy turning out the way it did. Why like Reloaded's actually pretty good at first, then Revolutions is bad because it's like what happened to like the dope stuff?
What do you think that they were looking at critics who were saying This is a great return to form for the franchise. And they were looking at the fact that they spent about 10-15 mil and they made almost 256 million at the box office. Like that right there is a say,
well, that's
okay,
the Blumhouse thing. And and this movie looks like it's cheap, which is why I said like it's a return to form. It's so garbage and it's filmmaking again. Like David Gordon Green, he's not some big auteur director, but like I mean, man, this movie just looks bad from its cinematography and like it almost looks like, are you trying to make a documentary? Like,
well, all right. Halloween Kills 2021 because this I Halloween Kills it may be the film I watched the most in 2021, but it's also one of the film like I hate well I got a screener I got it because they dropped this day and date on Peacock.
Yes,
so I got
and I didn't give it the time of day last year. Oh, I forgot to say, so remember how you told me like if you need to watch these movies, hit me up. I'm like, oh, I think they're on streaming, I'll be good. I had to rent the first two on app. It was too late. I thought we were gonna be recording Saturday, so it's like I can't ask you to send whatever now. So I had to rent 1978 Halloween and Halloween 2018 on Apple TV. So they got $8 from me.
Good
for a movie for a movie I really enjoyed in terms of the first one, and a movie I didn't enjoy, even though I enjoyed it more than the next two.
Next time,
the one we're talking about now and the one we're getting next.
Next time, take me up on the offer.
True.
Free
Again,
Keeks.
I don't listen, Kyle. Again, I hear you, but I don't listen. Yes, Free Keeks, my beloved.
I see. As I'm dating this, but as we're recording, I think I'll leave with Keeks is live the day that I found out she got this. Anyway, so and she's a Michael Myers fan as well, so shouts out to Keeks. So I wasn't expecting to laugh so early in a film, but when we talked about them doing the flashback and showing what happened with Michael Myers, when the guy it's that one white cop, his face is all in the camera, and he's like, "This is Michael Myers." Like they do the weird like audio thing on his voice. I'm like, what the fuck is it? Like I was ready because I knew that this film was gonna, and I put it on paper. I talked to the sheriff. I shout out to my man. I can't remember. Dorsey. What's my man's name? I feel bad. What's his name? He's in a lot of shit too. Damn it, I can't find his name. Hold up. I'm sorry. Halloween Kills Complex. Cal. I don't. Omar J. Dorsey. He's in Queen Sugar, a bunch of other stuff. He played the sheriff. He had the cowboy hat on in these three films.
Even he doesn't get to be like this is my town. He doesn't same thing like Chief Ratchet isn't like a nothing cop in the first one.
Got like 7 minutes in all the films combined. I told him, I said, I know Halloween Kills is about to be the Empire Strikes Back. I know Michael's like
God.
No, but what I'm saying is, I mean, it's obvious because in the title it's Halloween Kills. But when you're looking at the story and you realize, oh shit, they just blew Michael Myers up in the house and he didn't die. The movie starts with him icing like 17 firefighters. He got the one boy on the stick.
And even then, that wasn't as good. It was dope him survive. I saw this trailer when it was coming out. I think you had retweeted it.
He had him up on the stick?
No, I enjoy when he's fucking Kane just bursts through the fire and he takes the one guy down. That's a dope visual. But then when he's finally outside and like the one guy's hosing the house down, and then they all look at him like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he killed the whole. I heard real firefighters.
Like, oh my god!
No, I heard there were real firefighters.
And I'm just saying, like, that makes a difference in terms of it's like David Gordon Green. He's such an auteur. He went and got real firefighters for.
Again, if you look into the set that they built for some of that stuff, like they really built like a little Illinois suburb. They were really trying to go there with the money that they had from Blumhouse.
And that was the thing I was saying again, like, so of course they made money because every fucking Blumhouse film makes money. They make these movies for $8 million, and all you have to do is make 30, and then Jason Blum's like genius, and people are like, what? Like, I mean, some of his films have turned out good, and some of them, again, you see why they're also on Peacock because
I think they just said fuck it. The movie it underperformed at the box office. I don't know if that was because of Peacock. I think they were saying 50 mil. It made it like 42 open, which isn't bad, but
No.
it was the lowest of the franchise. And that first film, it blew. It like set records.
And look, this is COVID still being a factor because even though movies did open up last year,
right.
F9 didn't make as much as it was supposed to. No Time to Die definitely didn't make as much as it was supposed to.
Exactly.
Shang-Chi did all right. You know, some of the big blockbusters, the Suicide Squad.
Some of the Marvel ones did well, but yeah, a lot of them did not perform the way they were supposed to perform.
A lot of movies didn't. That was the thing when, like, end of the year, we get No Way Home, and that saved the box office, literally. Like, to then get to where we are now, and a lot of movies this year did pretty well, like Bullet Train, The Woman King. Surprising movies actually made a good amount of money considering.
I can't do that Bullet Train. But anyway,
are you talking about Thomas the Bloody Tank Engine again?
When my man was at when my man's up doing the spoken word at the bar.
Oh my god! Okay.
That's when I was like, "What the fuck am I watching?"
That's again. I got so angry, and
like for real, what am I watching?
Anthony Michael Hall being the young kid. Kind of good casting. Again, shout out to Breakfast Club.
They did a good job, but again, they did a good job of pulling from the little shit you got of the town in that first film.
They brought back the Real Housewife.
They
brought is always, which is crazy that's how. Again, because like my mom and dad watched those shows. My dad was like, she was a little girl on Halloween. I'm like, I haven't seen Halloween, but again, it's like. Most importantly, she's Paris Hilton's aunt, like on.
Right. It's interesting to see how, but again, it's the way those tentacles. It's cool.
It would make sense that they would still be friends, but the nurse, that was more shoehorned in because like she didn't interact. With any of them.
A lot of that is dumb.
Tommy and Lindsay would still be friends and all that, given what they survived that night with.
But if
him being about that action and then getting fucking murked at the end the whole time, and go like, he's like, I got this old Huckleberry here, and he's talking all this cash shit, and he gets fucking.
And then he but
same thing with his friend, who's the kid that again, like in this fake origin story they created with the cops,
Ronnie,
and that there was I'm like, and then he was the friend of the father who died, of the girl that his son was dating.
Ronnie, get your ass from over there. But the like that stuff's cool when you start when it starts getting into we don't remember how tall Michael Myers is compared to this short little old dude who's kind of like a little fucking like hobbit running around trying to, that shit was like
but you love this movie.
I'll tell you what I love about this movie.
Okay.
That shit, it was so obvious and so bad that the fact that they're so serious about it troubled me. Like there's no way you can understand what made the first Halloween film, and you were able to create the 2018 Halloween film, and then feel like you needed to totally dive bomb this weirdo. I don't know if this is a conversation about the alt-right or Trump or cancel culture, or like I don't know what they were what the metaphor that they were going for specifically, but a lot of horror does do that. That's why I like a lot of horror films. And I felt like this it missed, and it missed worse because they were so gung-ho about what they thought they were doing.
And I think this is the criticism we'll get into the next one, which I don't think has anything to say except that Michael Myers anyone can be Michael Myers, which is the problem. But like saying like this having a message in its way, like and I don't even want to be like, did Halloween need to get woke?
But it's like it really, if you're not going to do it in a smart and interesting way, don't even bother. But
their way of being smart and interesting is that again, we end up becoming the monsters at the end of the day. That's why, again, them chasing after this short dude who they think is Michael Myers because and they're all just again, like you said, gung ho about it, and Judy Greer's the one like, no, obviously that's not him. Like, blah
Yeah,
blah
it's
blah. And again, like
I
you don't if you don't
understand
listen to
it.
the only right person in the room, the only person with common sense.
Shit is so stupid. It's so
While again,
weak.
while the granddaughter becomes an idiot in her own right too, because she wants to go after Michael Myers and get her payback, which is like, no, again with this, like she forgives the cheating boyfriend, and again he
Right.
deserved to die when he got his head stuck between that fucking those stairs.
But
Like
she got to kill Michael Myers. Like, come on, get.
yeah.
All right, put all that bullshit to the
And
side.
we're skipping over again. Like there's the whole scene at the bar with the husband and wife, and then they join in, and then they fucking get more like he stabs him right through the eye, which was a pretty dope kill.
Wait. Because in the first film, that husband and wife,
yeah,
and he says, "I forgot my stethoscope."
Yeah,
like that. Again. They pay attention and like try and put because the stethoscope.
But I thought they were going to be the parents of the Julian kids. What I know that's kind of bad.
Too.
I know. That's. I mean,
although
like, it makes it seem like they're leaving that house when the girl walks up to go into that.
In these
boyfriend walks
these 4 films, there's like 5 or 6
black
people anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at you.
Especially when they see him on TV, they're like, they react away, but then they're like, "Oh, that's an asshole neighbor kid." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah. I thought I was not expecting that." Well, that makes sense because he's like, when she's like, I know what that Alakazam, I know what that means, and she's like, "Oh, what's it mean?" And he's like, "I'll tell your mom about your browser history." He's like, "No, you won't." Like,
no, you won't. That kid's fucking hilarious. No, but so put all that shit to the side. Michael Myers, he kills all the firefighter dudes. I don't remember some of the other people that he kills, but it's
the nurse, the husband and wife, because
the interracial husband and wife.
No, interracial. What do you mean?
Wait, there's a white man and a black woman. Was that in that?
We're skipping over that. Yeah, Lenny Clark. Lenny Clark from Boston and his wife with the drone.
He stabs her with the light bulb. But
like it's a fucking GCW match.
Facts. Fucking Nick Gage had that. Now, mind you, again, first Halloween film. Because this is the other thing that pisses me off about this shit so much. They couldn't do it, but if they weren't going to be able to examine it, they needed to discuss a little more because it's really fucking interesting. When he kills Bob in the first Halloween film, and he's like looking over his work. When he kills Lydia, he's got her sprawled out with his fucking sister's tombstone. Yeah. Like he does a lot of dressing up of the bodies after he kills them. Or like, I mean, think about it though.
Like he's a fucking interior decorator. Like
he stabs the wife in the throat with the light tube. And then she's sitting there looking at him as her husband is bent over on the table, and Michael Myers is pulling out the knives, and it's not it's not
at that point. I'm like, what's the point of this? I'm like, again, isn't this how he's supposed to gain power in a way? Like, doesn't this regenerate him?
I think I think. Because just like he kills the gay couple, the little Bob and Big Bob. Or whatever
my God, Big John and Little John. The whole time I'm like, what is the point of them? But they're like, this is the Michael Myers house.
Like again, they thought
and
that
one
should
of being Michael McDonald from Mad TV was killing me. Is that was Stewart? Look what I can do! Like,
that guy's fucking funny. But he played so like against type in it. It was actually.
I only love when he's like, I got a knife, and it's a small like cheese cutting knife, and he's like, "No, I got a knife." That was the only part where they legit paid off their whole like 10 minutes of way too much. There are no black people. No. We got 10 minutes with these guys after they fall for the kids' Halloween trick about like, oh my God, I think he choked on a razor. Like,
wait, see, but again, the payoff for you're wrong. The payoff for that scene is how he said again. He killed them in 2 totally different spots.
Yeah.
When they find their bodies, he's got them staged. Big John is laid up on his leg. Little John, but if you look, there's a picture he recreated.
Yeah,
they don't do anything to really investigate how he dresses these bodies, but none of that matters because that's not my favorite scene in the film. You've hinted at it, and that's why I told you to shut up. So
that's the car door, right?
Shut the fuck up. So it's not just the car door. It's actually starts a little bit before. It's right when I guess it's the black hair lady. She the bartender, the one that
No,
lived.
that's the nurse.
The nurse lady.
Kyle Richards. Yeah, Lindsay. Yeah, she lives.
Lindsay. I knew it was someone else.
Yeah, she's the one who gets out of that scene alive. Yeah.
The old nurse and the black couple pull up in an SUV. They stop because those little asshole kids is out. And those little asshole,
we gotta save these kids.
It's the funniest shit because they're just like, oh yeah, we see him, he's man in a white mask here, little pervert. Like they're talking cash shit up until they realize that he holding a dead homie mask with blood dripping out of it.
Yeah.
And then the music hits. I forget what number it is on the soundtrack. Rampage, best song on the whole fucking shit. It fits the scene perfectly. Michael Myers, old school, like Undertaker, jumps on top of the whip.
Yeah.
The nurse,
the nurse, like, you've been through this scenario before. Like, he's gonna.
She got a gun.
Shooting at shoots out the windows, like shooting an idiot, after he would break the window with just like one punch back in the day. Like
drip. When she is. This is for Dr. Loomis. Click, click. I was like,
I hated that.
She said, oh, and he just said, you mother. He got like a good 2, 3, 4 stabs, and then the black guy, his thought was
he had a good strategy for a minute. Like, I'm gonna choke this dude out.
He's not the dumbest black guy I've seen try and fight a slasher. I believe it's the Friday the 13th when they're in New York, and they're like straight squared up on top of
I hear no bell.
On a bill.
Like it's
fact,
the
black guy sitting there, bing, 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 bing. He fucking Jason up. Jason took one hit.
My favorite thing is Patrice O'Neal breaking down the entire Friday the 13th franchise, and he gets the one in New York. Like, he just knocks this dude's head right off.
Knocks his entire head off. It's so ridiculous. But my man, he said, I'm gonna take the stethoscope and I'm gonna choke him with the cord. Michael said,
and Laurie Strode had the fucking knitting needle and just went.
Yeah, like, Michael said, motherfucker. He said,
him going right to the eye. I was like, oh shit. I didn't want to pick that for my favorite kill because again, there's only 4 black people in the film, and he has one just like. But again, my legit favorite kill again is the boyfriend like getting fucking ragdolled between the fucking stair rail. Like
that shit is. But it don't stop.
And her again just screaming like no, because she's got a broken leg and can't get back up the stairs, and that's again like real like heel shit what he was doing.
No,
that's like the JR. That's the JR. Throw that damn towel.
That guy was a piece of shit.
Yeah,
that guy was a whole piece of shit. So stethoscope dies. His wife comes out. She's the only one that's got training. She coming out.
Took the gun. She said, "Yeah."
Ping, 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 ping. Missed every shot. Came right up to the most practical kill. She got the gun.
I don't know if Ricochet works just like that in terms of like
she got the gun. Right
yourself.
Her hand was on the trigger. She went. That is totally reasonable. The door came, hit the gun. That's totally reasonable.
I believe
Michael Myers,
like movies in which like bullets will ricochet off a ceiling instead of something like that. Like remember there was that American Ultra movie where just the eyes were like through the frying pan and the guy shot it.
But it's not like she shot it and it bounced off a bunch of shit and then hit her.
Saying, like him, like no way you can hit the door, like him hitting the door and her hands immediately go like
drip.
Michael Myers, her head.
Michael Myers starts to.
He should have spoke at that moment. He should have been like, oh shit.
There's a couple.
Like you should have like been like, are you not entertained?
Well, no, that's the thing. When I saw that scene, it's kind of like, oh, they're like, I fuck everything else that they think is fun and funny. Like, do more of this. Be more inventive with the kills, because that car scene showed a lot more for me for the potential of this film than any of that other pseudo woke, whatever you want to call it, a commentary about what's going on in the world. Like, stick to making fire kills, buddy. I'm not worried about this other stuff you got going on here. Although,
stick to fire kills.
I like when he killed the boyfriend. I was not feeling when the whole townspeople came out to bum rush him. That shit didn't make no sense at all. But I liked when he killed Laurie's daughter. the Judith Greer
No,
character.
see, that was the thing I hated the most. Is like at the end, and the whole time, like this is again bad screenwriting. Is that Will Patton somehow survives being run over and stabbed. 60-year-old Will Patton.
She needed a
again,
love interest.
No, but I say like in his origin story about again being played by Thomas Mann, which I actually thought was like pretty good casting for like a young Will Patton, was Thomas Mann as Frank, and him killing like Jim Cummings. I think he's from New Jersey, like big time indie film director Jim Cummings. That whole story about them chasing Michael Myers into the house only for him to shoot Michael Myers. And for him shoot the cop instead of Michael Myers, like this whole like I need to be the one to kill him for this guilt I have about murdering an innocent man. Again, it was just bad screenwriting. That's a little bit, and then you can tell again that all three of these films have three to four screenwriters, which is always a recipe for disaster in terms of like this is here, and this is here, and then you have the core central thing in the middle, and like none of the stuff works except the main thing in the middle, which is Michael Myers and Laurie Strode.
That's why,
and it gets away from that completely because she's laid up and they're having again this pseudo romance, even though like it's not believable at all. Where he's like, because I knew you were feeling Ben Tramer, and it's like we didn't even get to meet Ben Tramer. Like, is that who she married? Like, what doesn't even know?
No,
they say she's twice divorced, and like
Ben Tramer, and he actually gets killed in one of the films. Like he gets like
I would assume so, but I'm saying like in this world, like we have no history again about who her husband.
No, yeah, we don't know what Ben Tramer.
So that's why I was like, for this romance, where like her, like she talks to him like Frank, like they've known each other for so long, but like he's not even in the first one. It's just Chief Brackett and Dr. Loomis that like hunt after him in a way, and it gets to the end where like they finally trap him outside, and then they gang up on him like they're gonna like the people are gonna take back their town, they're gonna take back Halloween, and then he just like fucks them up and like
he beat their ass. He beat the shit out their ass.
Again, Halloween, the Chief Brackett's like this. He said like he was gonna like he owed him a bullet for his daughter, and he was the first one to get got. Like,
hey, fuck it, that's what happens.
And then again, like you said, like and then poor Judy Greer just goes up to the stairs and gets killed for no reason except that they just needed a surprise at the end because they knew this movie was dog shit.
Yeah,
as someone who enjoys Judy Greer and stuff, I didn't like seeing that.
I don't know. All I'm gonna say is when you see this scene, you know it's about to be some shit.
Cal. It's one scene.
When I tell you how many times I've rewound that scene, though, it's a piece of it in years where there's been a lot of mid horror. That scene showed me that they actually cared about making a good horror film.
What you talk about, like Old last year? Like what else was some mid horror? Last Night in Soho? I haven't seen that though, but
I watch a lot of horror. What was not Abby Jacobson? What's the other woman who was on Broad City?
Oh, Alana Glazer.
Lana Glazer has a movie. I don't remember the name of it. It was a Hulu. The Hulu bought it.
Oh yeah, with Pierce Brosnan and Justin Theroux.
She was pregnant, and yeah, that movie, and that movie was terrible.
All horror movies are terrible, and you were wondering why I don't watch them because stuff like this. I'm halfway through. I'm like, I hate Cal. Why did I agree to this? And I'm like, now I know what you. And I'm like, now I know what you felt like during The Gray Man. And here's the thing. Everyone rips on another Universal movie franchise that I love called The Fast and the Furious. At least those scripts are better written than these three pieces of shit that David Gordon Green, Dan McBride, and two other scrubs put together.
Halloween Ends.
Okay, so when this was start, as I'm finishing, so I watch again I watched Halloween 78 and Halloween 2018 on Friday night. I started the first half of Kills, and then I'm like, I'm going to bed. And I finished it in the morning, and I'm like, all right, time to do Ends because you and I are going to record later. And we changed it to today, but I'm like, I had seen a little bit of what people were saying about Ends, and I'm like, at least I kind of know what I'm expecting. But when it was going on, I'm like, are we really going to spend this much time with this guy? Like just this random guy out of nowhere? Like he just matters all of a sudden? But like,
I hate the final film of a trilogy, and it feels like they're starting back at the beginning. And sometimes you can do that in a film, and because of the way the story goes, it kind of aligns to where we are right now. But this film, it was really like, all right, we got a hypothesis and we're gonna prove it right. So we're gonna write this film about this guy who he might have could been like Michael Myers, but really he is Michael Myers, but not really. And he just goes like when he went on the kill with the doctor and went to the mansion. He kills the doctor. Just like Michael Myers. He saw Michael Myers stab him. He can't open the glass door. And he's banging on the glass door, putting his hands on the glass to look at Michael Myers recreate the Bob kill with stabbing the lady up. And
we'll get to that. I mean, again, an issue I had with it's I did think it was smart, and they do have promising ideas in the three of them in a way of like Halloween 2019, the year after all this goes down. Like
right.
The kid being afraid of Michael Myers while these parents go out, and this kid is just, a hapless babysitter on Halloween and being scared that this kid's missing and what's going on. And then he fucking kicks a door and this kid fucking flies over and just like, pfft. That was, I can't think of a more shocking moment this year in a movie than that. I don't know what I expected, but it was definitely not that. As the parents walking in, the mom goes,
I knew that kid was, I didn't know what was happening, but I knew that kid. I knew it. I knew that kid was going to die. It was too early in that film for that kid to make it to the end of that film.
And then Laurie Strode has this whole narrator thing about like, since the effects of Halloween, our town has been eating itself alive. Like this, it doesn't need to turn into Matt Reeves as the Batman. Like 2 years of sleepless nights. I just like that works. Friggin' like the crime in the city has gone up since I've been doing my thing. Like I am stopped. Like it does. Like that works for that. But like no one's fighting the crime. It's like Michael Myers has been away, and for him the whole time to be like a Ninja Turtle in the sewer layer, like kind of again like hibernating because he's supposed to be dead. His body can only take so much punishment, I guess. It's like he's just slowly dying away.
So life goes on. I guess
he's just
at the end. At the end of he kills Laurie Strode's daughter, and then just retreats. He retreats.
No, Karen. That's the whole time she's saying Karen, and I'm thinking not of Goodfellas.
He murders Karen. He murders Karen.
Yeah, I'm thinking that version of it.
Now, did he have like when Corey first crept into the entrance? Michael Myers is right there to grab him by the throat. So is he just standing there, waiting for anybody to creep into the sewer at night? Is he sleeping there?
Yeah, I think he's just supposed to be like. He's not even like on a respirator or anything. It's just like he's slowly there dying away until this kid. And again, like he does like the soul transfer. And I messaged you right away. I'm like, no way. Can he just like transfer his evil? I know the third season of The Witch was like.
Yeah, it was a callback to that.
No, I don't even know that. But I know it was an attempt to like, again, like Halloween's not about Michael Myers. It's about.
Yeah.
What if we told stories centered around the day of Halloween, which again is a genius idea. But you would already showed us all this goodwill about Michael Myers and Laurie Strode. Like, why would we do the 180 now? It's like how they try to do Cloverfield, 10 Cloverfield Lane, and then they just shoehorned in Cloverfield Paradox to be like it's all really connected now. Like,
I'm not like well versed in this stuff, but and it's the one reason why I kind of got turned off with the second film. They started getting into the idea of Sam Hain. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's kind of like Halloween, but it's the idea of the darker side of things, and Michael Myers is kind of like the epitome of the idea of Sam Hain, kind of just like the ultimate darkness reigning and dropping terror everywhere. Like that was kind of where they were ending the second film. And because they because they wanted to make Halloween, they tried to make Halloween more about, like you said, story centered around Halloween and not being so focused on the character for a number of different reasons. it made sense to try and go in that route at that time. It didn't work. The movies were trash, and these films haven't brought any of that stuff. This is, again, you already introduced this little shithead character who's taken so much time in this film, and then when he finally meets up with Mike, but he meets up with Michael Myers. That guy Corey sucks.
No, he's a shitty character. It's not even. It's just like he's this poor kid who just like accidentally murdered a child. Then you find out he's got like Norman Bates's mother. So like now I really feel bad for him because he's got like this overbearing mother.
You felt bad for him?
Yeah, because his mom's like a fucking terrible, like no one's good enough for my boy. Like she's like wiping his face and all that. And like, is that guy supposed to be his dad or his stepdad? The guy who he works with, like, or is he dating his mom?
I'm supposed to believe that environment bred a whole killer.
No. The thing is, like, he wasn't a killer until like he got this moniker of a killer put on him by accidentally murdering a kid. Because that's the dad says like this guy was the nicest guy ever, and then when I see him in the last 2 days, something's changed, and in these last 2 days, he's hung out with Michael Myers, like.
But you got to remember, they weren't doing anything. Like it wasn't just that he was messed up off the murder. He was able to run like a lot of these things are situations
he murdered someone and got away with it.
You're able to run through. Like if let's say he got arrested for robbing a store, and the cops brought him home in handcuffs. They weren't going to like discipline him. They didn't give a shit. They wanted to make sure that he wasn't causing any trouble, wasn't bringing any drama to the house. They didn't care. Because it's. I don't think they were ambiguous with what they were doing, but they were definitely cognizant with saying, "All right, part of it could just be him. Part of it could be the environment of the town reacting to him after this accidental death of this kid. Part of it could be not having a stable home life and parents worried about one thing when they should be worrying about, like, there's a lot that went on that then when Michael Myers looked into this little fucker's eyes, he was so suddenly able to, he's a terrible murderer. He has one good kill. He has one good kill.
He actually becomes a good murderer once like he becomes Michael Myers, which it would. Like when he kills the bullies at the truck yard, he runs over the girl with the truck on. I'm saying it's not. I'm not saying they're like good kills in terms of like I'm a kill aficionado, unless it's like an action movie. But I mean, like he's able to actually like kill people pretty well considering how he started as an amateur. When he's like, show me how to do it. Like
you're right, but I think
takes the mask and then like he becomes Spider-Man of the symbiote. Like he knows what to do now. Like he stomps a fucking person's head in and he sets a dude on. He burns a dude's face off. Like
that part was cool, but that's not even the best kill.
I'm not saying that the best kills. I'm saying like he knows how to kill now. At least is the thing. Compared to before, like he's again just like.
But he also
trash because like the whole time like this.
There's a good kill in it, but he was also doing it. But no, because he had a plan, right? There was a reason why he was at the point where he was killing the bullies. That was part of his whole scheme, or whatever he was trying to do at the end of the film, right? That wasn't just a random kill.
No, that his whole thing too. Then he kills the DJ, and then he kills.
The DJ's the best kill of the film.
Really? Now who's racist?
No, it ain't got nothing to do with it. Just because he's one of the two black people. He goes in there. He already had the DJ dude was talking shit early in the film for whatever reason. We don't.
Ain't you that kid? I know who you are. Yeah,
his character is so paper thin. I don't know why that one DJ had to be so brash with some kid out in the middle.
All these characters, like I said, the mom. They brought back the woman again whose husband died, and the woman who got stabbed with a light tube live. And
right.
She's like, this is my sister. You don't even know her name. And Laurie Strode just like,
Jesus. Like what the fuck?
Like what that got to do with me? Like
exactly. What do you want me? So he kills.
After her and Frank can have that poor will they won't they in the grocery store about like cherry blossoms and all, like you cut your hair like like
she was so stupid. Michael Myers goes into
Corey and her are even worse because like I'm not saying like he's not a bad looking guy but like for her to fall for him, like there are some clear warning signs like stay away from this guy.
It's so dumb. She just a year ago. She survived Michael Myers. You mean to tell me she's that attracted to the bad boy dark side that she's gonna just all these red flags?
He's better than the cop who's hitting on her, who's like a creep. He's better than that guy.
He's being fucking weird. He's a weirdo kid.
Women like that though.
He had blood on him, and she was like, "Oh, all right, I'll help you."
Yeah, she stitched up his hand so she knows like he gets into some shit.
So he kills the one
It was
person at the
very like
radio.
Natural Born Killers-esque, which is why I wasn't a fan of it either.
Yeah, but a very terrible version of that.
Yeah.
And because she barely got her hands dirty. If you're really gonna Natural
No,
Born
I'm just
Killers
saying
it
like
up, you
in terms of like this like romance of like two people, like there's nothing to keep me here again. I should leave Haddonfield. Like, you know, my mom's dead, my dad's dead, my grandma doesn't need me. As she's trying to put like this home life together with her. I guess she hates her job where her coworker is clearly fucking her boss and like he's an asshole. Like
shit is so dumb. No, you can't pay. I could care less about any of those. Honestly, none of those.
The Corey stuff only pays off. Big and like, what's the point when he stabs himself? It's dope for like a whoa. Didn't see that coming. But then it's like, so she gets mad because she thinks he did it. I mean, that Lori did it, but then like it doesn't even pay off, right? Because she comes back at the end and forgives her and helps. Yeah,
none of it makes
sense. That's why you don't film movies back to back, like.
But so he goes into the radio station, kills the one lady. I believe he does the Liv Morgan Sonya Deville bashing his head into the shit, right? It's when he cuts the tongue off and it flops onto the record and it's skipping. And then Shorty's in the car listening on the radio and she has to turn the station off because the song. That was my favorite part of the entire film. Only part of the film that brought me joy, aside from the final battle. I tried to find more images for this film. I think I got to go somewhere official because all the images were just Michael Myers.
They had a lot of callbacks, getting like her behind like the in the pantry, and then again he had like the knitting needle and all that. She gets you know, it's all in the dark too, like that light's barely coming through the window.
Spoiler alert for the end of Halloween Ends. So she's got him. She's got the fridge on his legs.
Yeah, she pins him down basically.
His one arm is here, and his other arm has got a knife through it here. He ripped his arm off.
Oh, yeah, and then the granddaughter says like, breaks his arm. Like again, like how? Like
Michael Myers, man, you got to power up when that movie is awful. And
then they put him on a car and they're like, no, the people need to see. Like
he said, that's when the black sheriff comes. That's like, no, we gonna do this tonight.
Yeah,
I'm using my bats. We're gonna parade his dead body through the streets and then put him in the fucking.
Again, we're taking back our town. You know that whole.
What's that shit called? What's the thing called that they put Michael Myers in? It looks like the shit that they
I forget what that's called. Yeah, I mean, it just looks like a grinder, I guess. Yeah,
they fucked him up. Good. I will say, aside from the DJ kill, the very end of this film being the end of this film was the best part of the film. I saw Hearts was on the timeline saying that you couldn't skip films. I was not going to have you watch.
Yeah, especially that I'm not going to follow the through line of she's his sister. There's H2O, and then she dies in the one right after that. I'm not going to do all the work for that, especially since they said when they announced this movie that no, this undoes everything in between. This is just focused clearly on 78, and even then they botched that with its origin story that they created between Frank.
I just wish they were better. I really do wish that.
And you're aware that David Gordon Green is doing The Exorcist. Are you worried about that? Because that's a lot of the other things we're talking about.
I'll say this. I don't care. I
haven't seen The Exorcist either.
I saw they re-released The Exorcist when I was in high school, maybe like 97, 98. Don't quote me if I'm wrong. But they I guess they remastered it and added like, I don't know, it was like a fresh cut of the film. And I went to see, I'm like, yeah, this movie's dope. I don't like it was never like one of my favorites. I know, and spinning her head, that the crab walk, that all that shit is dope. But like, give me a Michael Myers, give me a Jason Voorhees, give me Chucky. Shouts to Liv Morgan. She's in season 2 of
Oh
Chucky.
yeah, I was waiting for that.
I mean, hey,
you could have had a good week in terms of Liv Morgan was at the Chucky premiere, then she was at the Halloween premiere, but Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson or Brian Bryanson lost again in an ROH title match.
It's a thing, Drip. So before that,
and then Halloween Ends comes out, but then Halloween Ends is trash, as you've
rewind before that. I was so busy going into, because like when I go out of town, even though I was barely out for 24 hours, I like to make sure that like everything is in the house that I need to take care of is done. And I had work. There was like a bunch of shit going on, including there was like this Extreme Rules post that went up the Friday before, and it was so busy and involved with stats. I got to Philly, and I was like, damn, I'd love to see Liv Morgan win when I go see her live, and she fucking loses. I'm like, all right, bet. Wednesday night's coming up. Now, mind you, you had just won that fucking title. Wednesday night comes up.
So you were more pissed about that.
Wednesday night comes up, and what did I tell? I told Shoemaker. He said something about my birthday. You told
Shoemaker, you said, this man Drip just won the title. I was like, who?
Shoemaker. I was
like, you mean Davis?
I see. How about that? I told Shoemaker, I was like, either Halloween Kills is good.
Ends.
I'm sorry. Either Halloween Ends is good, or Bryan Danielson wins the ROH World Championship. I got to get one of them, and I got none of them. I got no Liv Morgan. I barely got to see Bray Wyatt in Philly. I feel like there was another match in Extreme Rules that I wanted to go the other way, but Halloween Ends was garbage.
You were irritated by, as you so eloquently put it on on Black Rasslin proper, that that's RVD. He's RVD.
Oh yeah, that shit annoyed the piss out of me.
I'm like this, and you're like, that's why I don't go outside. Right?
It's so odd, but it was like if you knew who Rob Van Dam was and you saw what Seth Rollins had in Philly,
freaking Rollins, is he doing RVD?
The man, was that an RVD reference? Yes. God, like, what more do you need? Like, it's one thing.
His Extreme Rules take home chair and just
bash him up. But it's one thing if he just had the outfit on and didn't say anything, and you were like, and feel like, oh, driving home, maybe that's why. But when he does the thing with the clothes in the town, like, you can't then ask, like, if you need it spelled out for you that much, go home, go listen to the commentary at home.
I was watching with my dad, and he's coming out. I'm like, who's he supposed to be this time? And then he gets a little bit closer to it, and I'm like, oh, he's Rob Van Dam. Okay, and then he does this at freaking Rollins in the match, and my dad like, that's good.
Yeah. Well, I the thing is, I don't care. Like, that stuff's cool, but like, I wasn't even paying attention to what he had on when they started asking about it. That stuff's cool, but like, it won't, like, unless it's like Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania, or like Chris.
You don't care about the special gear.
Like,
That's one of the things I love about wrestling, to be honest.
I recognize, like, I tried to tell when Liv Morgan came out with the Britney, I knew what it was immediately. Like, I could spot it, but a lot of, like, at a certain point, it's like, I get it, and they're gonna always do it, but I don't always pop for it. It has to be something cool, or it has to be something different. Anyway, I wonder if somebody's gonna come out as Michael Myers. Dude, Michael Myers.
What's it called? They're doing Halloween Havoc for NXT. I wouldn't be surprised if they do some there. Don't forget last year, when they were in Texas. Was it last year or this year? Well, either way, Braun Breaker had the chainsaw and like cut through one of the exits.
Oh, that's right.
NXT, remember?
That's right.
But
that's right.
When they were in Dallas for San Antonio for Takeover, that's when Finn Balor as the Demon came out with like the whole Texas chainsaw. I remember he was swinging the chainsaw around. He was the Demon that time. Like, so they might have someone try to be like Michael Myers. I mean, they had Austin Theory beat Ghostface last year. 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
We're gonna try some before we get because we still, for those in, we're gonna get out of here in a second. I want to see. Well, because I got pissed while we were recording the show last week because I had those files ready.
They didn't work. Yeah.
But I forgot. I meant to say I had one image or one video Michael Cole was on my Instagram. I forgot that I had put that story up. I'm gonna try and see. Should I bother?
Yeah, try it. Because over here we gotta do the mini white noise after this. So
No, yeah, we did I delete all those files off here because it didn't work? If I don't have that folder on here, oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, I wanted. It's not related to anything but some violence in the spirit of in in the spirit of Finn Balor.
oh god.
And no, because there's one really
oh yeah, you
cool,
had the video. You said
there's one really cool video of him during the I Quit match, caning the shit out of Edge, and then they ask him. That was actually a really fun match. All things considered. Oh, we're almost there. Yes, here we go. All right, we're gonna see if we'll watch. Yeah, see, it doesn't fucking work. Anyway, that's frustrating as fuck. Champion Drip, thank you for stopping. Thank you for running the Halloween Gauntlet.
It was a gauntlet. I'm like this. I don't know if this is a Seth Rollins gauntlet or the Kofi Kingston gauntlet in terms of like this was work.
It's for someone who's not a horror fan. I think watching Michael Myers do his thing is already bad enough, but the thing.
Like, to me, the slasher, the unstoppable killer, it doesn't matter to me because like these people can't fight back really, or like only 1 to 2 of them can.
Right.
So that's why I've always preferred action movies, which is why I love in action movies when there is like the unstoppable killer, because at the end, him and the hero are going to have an awesome showdown. Like the whole point of the Gray Man. But what I'd say is like Chris Evans, unfortunately, doesn't do much in between to show like he's just a badass as Ryan Gosling is.
Right.
Which is why it's kind of a letdown when even though it's a great fight at the end, but like Lloyd's just kind of getting like this weak torturer, blah, blah, blah. But when you finally like kind of see he's about it when he faces off against Sierra 6, it's just, we should have had another scene too where like he takes on 6 guys at once to show he's just as deadly. So like
sounds crazy taking on 6 guys at once.
Well, he did it in the Winter Soldier, remember? In that elevator, he takes on like but that's thing. So like in horror movies, when like again there is Jason or I think after a while I just get tired of like not mindless killing or just like the constant like killer chasing after you. Can only hide in so many places or you can only take so many stab wounds. It's just it just gets tiring to me. You're like, like. That's why I think the first one is so great. I can see why it was so iconic even years later. While slow it is, it's just building up that tension. So like when she finally realizes what's going on, like her friends aren't answering the phone, like the car is there, the lights just turned off, and now she's being prepared, like she's gonna lock the kids in the room and like brace herself. Like that worked.
Right.
They aren't able to replicate that until the very end of Halloween, when again it's not a trap, it's a cage. When they finally put him there, that finally builds up to it. But even then, like Laura Stroud did all this training and only was really able to use it a little bit. I mean, she shoots off his hand, like the fingers on his hand. Like that was kind of badass when like he's he's trying to like cover the shotgun barrel and she just goes and shoots off his fucking fingers.
She again, just like he'd been dreaming about getting that kill. That's the one thing that she'd been worrying about, the trauma. So it's when you finally get to fulfill that and you're ready and prepared, it's probably the best.
Like I said earlier, same thing with Karen. Like she grabs the gun she had as a kid and like she suckers him in with her scream and then shoots him right in the fucking neck. Like that part works in a way, but all the other like horror movies in a way, in terms of, like Scream is enjoyable because it's in a bunch of teens to young adults getting murdered. Even though I haven't seen Scream from last year, I like that aspect of it because it's more realistic in terms like you can imagine one day you and your friends are like just getting chased after someone and like what would you do?
What would you do if somebody just went crazy, started chasing you in your squad?
And I like the idea of Ghostface more than Michael Myers, to be honest. Like like someone in a mask like that in the cloak with a knife. Like
makes sense. That can make sense. All right, well, let the people know where they can find you when you're not on the Black Rasslin Podcast Club.
Well, I'm with you every week on White Noise. Every Saturday or Sunday or Monday. Every week basically is on Patreon, then on YouTube. But you can also find me on Twitter at Davis aka Drip, Instagram Davis DC, Banks versus Davis on YouTube, Banks versus Davis Patreon, Black Rasslin every Thursday night on YouTube 8:35. Don't miss it with myself, Cal, Fam, Math, and Mimi. Lovely Lavone Fam have something else every single Wednesday on the BRP YouTube. There's also Where's Buffy with Fam. You sometimes. Is it Kill? Is it how you say
Kill? Yeah,
Kill. Diz, Where's Buffy on BRP Fridays, and then Where's Buffy on YouTube elsewhere. Support the team. We're again Black Rasslin Podcast Club. You and Math just talked to Emilio Sparks about Taz and the Beastie Boys. I enjoyed the so what you want? What you want? Like
what a time.
Like we are building again a content empire with White Noise, something else. Black Rasslin Podcast Club, Coffee and Kicks. I think we'll be starting soon. That's like the George R. Martin like finishing the Game of Thrones book. Like it'll happen. Like
that's one of those ones. Like it's again perfect. Michael Myers' Perfect Storm. You need
Black Watch with Downtown Tony Brown and Fam. It's already dropped. It as we're recording. It's Rocky Maivia versus the Sultan, The Rock's first WrestleMania match for the Intercontinental title.
Crazy, and they're good. The one after that episode, it's the other black match at Mania. The
Ahmed Johnson, right?
Yeah, the Ahmed in Legion of Doom versus the Nation. There's if you're on the Patreon, there's a great intro. Shouts out to Downtown Tony Brown. But where are you on social media?
I already said it again.
Did you say where you were?
Okay. Well, most importantly, I'm the BRP predictions champion. That's where I'm at.
Oh, yeah, count your days.
And that's where I'll be at. You know what? I got a feeling I'm going to retain. To be honest, I'm walking into the blood money country, and I'm walking out.
That's the thing. It's like if it's not Saudi Arabia, it's got to be Survivor Series because
I think I can survive the War Games, Cal. I think I'm ending the year's champ. To be honest,
well, you say ending the year. They said that day one is reportedly canceled. So whoever has the championship.
How pissed would y'all be if I'm champion going into 2023?
It's not even like going. It's like if Survivor Series is at the end of November, there's no January 1st pay-per-view. That's like 2 whole months damn near of Drip as the champion with no contest. Nah, somebody
I should have been the champ after Clash at the Castle when we had that 5-way tie. You should have just handed me the title then.
Whatever. We gonna get the hell out of here. Trip talking.
Where can the people find you again? This is the Black Rasslin Podcast.
I'm at Cal on Twitter, at Black Rasslin on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon.com/Black Rasslin. You can pay the $1, you can pay the $10. You get exclusive content like this and a bunch of other nonsense. YouTube.com/Black Rasslin. We're not dropping stuff on Patreon. Stuff's always dropping over there. Special episode is something else coming up very soon.
Have y'all seen? I haven't seen Atlanta season 4, but I imagine you and Fam might be doing Atlanta. I talked with Fam yesterday about maybe doing a Have Y'all Seen about House of the Dragon with Lovely Laveau and Mimi. I think that'd be interesting.
That'd be very smart. I'm not as big of a fan of House of the Dragon. Atlanta
House of the Dragon is good. I know I got to get on Atlanta season 4.
I heard House of the Dragon's got some good episodes. I'm not the biggest fan of Game of Thrones, so
I wasn't into it like that, but after seeing people talk about it, I'm like, let me see if it's worth it. The first episodes were slow, but second half of the season it picked the fuck up. Like,
yeah, that's what I've heard. I don't know, we'll figure it out.
And not that it was bad in the beginning, but also like it's just so much more simple, which is a great thing. Like it's just around like these 10 people instead of like 3 characters here, or 7 characters there, 4 characters here, 2 characters here. Like,
fact. No, I get it. All right, we're out of here so we can handle some other business. We'll catch y'all another time. I don't know. Black Rasslin Podcast Club don't really got a schedule, so when you see us, just press play. We out. Peace.